What's up guys, welcome back to CardSpot. My name is Ethan and it is time for some news. Kicking it off here in TCG land, we have the release of Valiant Smashers this coming week, and we have final confirmation on the setlist and the rarities. Of course, what this means is the Synchro cards are, yeah, you guessed it, they're the bulk of the ultras. It's kind of the Vanquished Soul from Wild Survivors scenario round 2. If the good news is, if you're into Totlin or Valmonica, that's going to be a cheap deck to pick up. So I guess that's a win, but yeah, it just seems like a bit of a money grab. In terms of the reprints, nothing too crazy stands out here. I guess for Edison format, Archlord Christie is nice, but a little bit lackluster. For OCG news, we have a bunch of new Ritual Beast support coming in the Terminal World set. So Ritual Beast gets a new effect monster, a new fusion, a new link, and a new spell card. You can see them up on the screen now. If you want to know what they do, click the link in the description down below. We also have a look at the first cards coming out of Legacy of Destruction, which is the next core booster set after Phantom Nightmare. And wouldn't you know it, just like we reported, was it last week or the week before, new Gandora cards. Well, at least one new Gandora card. It is currently called Gaius Gandora, the Dragon of Destruction. It's a level 8 Dark Dragon effect monster, 0 attack, 0 defense. You can only use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. If you control a gold sarcophagus of light, you can special summon this card from your hand. Gains 300 attack for each banished card, and you can pay half your life points, destroy as many other cards on the field as possible, and if you do banish them, then special summon one level 7 or lower monster from your deck that mentions gold sarcophagus of light, and if you do, increase its level by the number of cards destroyed by this effect. What a mouthful. But you'll see this isn't the only interesting card from Legacy of Destruction. We also have a pair of really cool looking cards. We have Silent Swordsman 0 and Silent Magician 0. They both are pretty similar. They're both light, level 4, attack 1000, defense 1000. Swordsman is a warrior, Magician is a spellcaster, which makes sense. Swordsman, if your opponent activates a card or effect that targets Gold Sarcophagus of Light or a monster you control, can negate the effect and increase its level by 1. Whereas Magician, if your opponent activates a spell card or effect that targets Gold Sarcophagus of Light, you can negate it and increase its level by 1. Kinda cool to see retrains of some of Yugi's most impactful cards, and it doesn't stop there. We have Tricolor Gadget, level 4 Earth Machine effect monster, attack 1300, defense 1100. You can only use the first and second effect of this card's name each once per turn. If it's normal summoned or special summoned, you can add a gold sarcophagus of light or one spell or trap that mentions it from your deck to your hand. If this card is destroyed by battle or card effect, you can set one Stronghold, the Hidden Fortress, directly from your deck. We also have Mashy Marshmallow, which is a level 3 light fairy, 300 attack, 500 defense. You can use the first and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. During your opponent's turn, if you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. While you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, this card cannot be destroyed by battle. Also, your opponent's monsters cannot target other monsters for attacks. And 3, if this card is destroyed by card effect, you can special summon one of your other Mashy Marshmallow that is banished or in your hand, deck, or graveyard, and if you do, inflict 1000 damage to your opponent. That's a pretty cool recruiter. Then we have Gold Sarcophagus of Light, since we've mentioned it a lot. It's a continuous spell. You can use the second and third effect of this card's name each once per turn. Can't be destroyed by monster effects. During your main phase, you can add one card from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light, except itself. If your opponent special summons a monster from the graveyard, you can discard one spell, then target one of those monsters and send it to the graveyard. We also have Silence of Time, which is a quick play spell. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Target one face-up monster you control, increase its level by 3, and if you activated this card in response to your opponent's monster effect activation while you controlled Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, negate that effect. That is a mouthful and a half. If your monster that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light battles during damage calculation, you can banish this card from your graveyard to end the battle phase. They just keep coming. We also have Ties of the Fellowship. Normal spell card, you can activate one card with this card's name per turn. If you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of this turn after this card is resolved. Also, special summon up to 2 level 4 or lower monsters with different names from your hand or deck that mention Gold Sarcophagus of Light. That's pretty sweet. Then we have Silence Towards the Future, a quick play spell card. You can only activate one card with this card's name per turn. Add one monster from your deck to your hand that mentions Gold Sarcophagus of Light. Then, if you activated this card during the battle phase while you controlled Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, each player draws cards until they have 6 cards in their hand. And finally, as it was mentioned before, Stronghold the Hidden Fortress, a continuous trap card. Special summon this card as an effect monster, Machine Earth level 4, attack 0, defense 2000, with these effects. This card is also treated as a trap. Gains 1000 attack for each card you control that is Gold Sarcophagus of Light or a monster that mentions it, and once per turn, when an opponent's monster declares an attack and you control Gold Sarcophagus of Light, you can destroy that monster. Whoa, that is a lot of retrained Yugi support cards, and honestly, I'm here for it. It gets the nostalgia factor pumping, but these cards actually seem decent. As long as you control a Gold Sarcophagus of Light and a monster that mentions it, you can do a lot of stuff with these cards. So I'm going to be interested to see how they roll when they release in the OCG. Next, we have 2 cards that are coming out in the OCG Promotion Pack 2024. We have a level 1 spellcaster, Mirah, and Matchnoko, which is a fire monster, and this fire is getting a lot of love at the moment, and a fusion monster called A-Star Speculation, which, if you want to know what they do, you can check out the link in the description down below. I simply can't discuss every card because this video would be 7 hours long, and I thought the Yugi stuff probably took priority. We also have a couple of new cards from the quarter-century duelist box. We have the Supreme King Z-Arc Synchro Universe, which is a Synchro pendulum monster, and Code of the Soul, which is actually a new Salamangreat monster. So some interesting cards coming out there. Again, check them out in the link down below. And we have the confirmed effect for Surgical Striker S.P.E.C.T.R.A, the V-Jump promo that we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. It is a Link 4 Dark Machine Link monster with 3000 attack and requires 2+ monsters as material, including a Link monster. It's always treated as a Sky Striker Ace card, must first be Link summoned. You can only use the first effect of this card's name once per turn. When your opponent activates a card or effect as Chainlink 2 or higher, quick effect, you can banish 2 spells from your hand or graveyard, negate that effect, then you can destroy 1 card your opponent controls. It loses 3000 attack while you have no spells in your graveyard. So don't crucify me for this, but I don't think that seems that great. It's kind of counter to the whole Sky Striker strategy, right? Like, you want to keep your spells in your graveyard so you can recycle them and stuff like that. You don't really want to be banishing them. I guess it's okay as a last resort maybe, or you know, it gives them something that's a bit bigger at 3k to attack over stuff, but I don't see it. Then, of course, we had YCS Richmond since our last news video, and we have a couple of cool decks that topped from that. First up, we have a Dinomorphia deck piloted by Evan Hornick, who got top 32. And what a deck! Like, just always cool to see Dinomorphia doing well because it's been such a rogue deck for so long. Of course, it is basically like Floodgate the deck, but you know, it's still really cool to see something like this, a pretty cheap deck, especially given all the reprints and the Megatons, actually doing well at a high level event. We also have William Johnson's Salamangreat deck, which made top 32 at Richmond as well. It's been a little while, I think, since we've seen a Salamangreat deck top a YCS anyway. I think particularly with the new support. I don't know if it's done that yet. So cool, again, to see something different topping. The list looks fairly standard from what I understand of Salamangreat, incorporating the Fire Recovery spell card from Age of Overlord, which is just general good fire support, so yeah, really cool. And then shout out to Matt W from little old New Zealand, here down south in the south part of the globe, who actually won a regional with Phantom Knight Horus, which is a really interesting looking deck list, as you can see here. Something I might have to test out myself, because I've been really enjoying the Horus engine. It looks pretty cool. Always interesting to see Phantom Knights rearing their head again. They've sort of been in and out of the meta over the years, but it's an interesting list, so keep up the good work, Matt. In Master Duel, we have a new secret pack called Sisters of the Light, which basically introduces Exo Sisters, as well as some of the artifact cards. So I think that's pretty cool if you're wanting to play the Exo Sister strategy on Master Duel. There's also new accessories for Vanquish Soul. They've got new sleeves, a new icon, new wallpaper, and there is, of course, a new selection pack called Singularity Warrior, which includes a lot of the Vanquish Soul monsters, plus a few other things, a few bits and pieces in there, and also includes the Nova Layer as well, which is kind of cool. And of course, from November 13th to the 24th, it is the, well, time zone depending, it is the Ritual Monster Festival. So obviously you are focusing on having to summon ritual monsters, and there are some cool rewards. You get some field parts and things like that. Just an opportunity to test out your skills in a different format. And of course, as part of the new Master Duel update, the version update, I'm sure you will have seen this everywhere. Everyone's been talking about it. It is the proficiency test. You can go and basically do exams for fun. There is going to be some quizzes, some challenges that you actually have to do, complete duels or complete a certain number of special summons, that kind of thing, to prove that you are Master Duel proficient. It's a bit of fun, honestly. I've been enjoying tracking my way through, so go check that out and see how you go. Alright, that's us. This is the news for this week. If you want further detail on any of the cards or articles that I've discussed, as always, link is in the description down below to everything. If you've enjoyed the video, make sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on next week's news video. We do these weekly to keep you updated. You can always drop a like as well and leave a comment. Let me know what you thought about any of the new stuff that has been announced this week, and I will see you in the next video.